Hello everyone, Luckily is here once again. And I won't be saying that I will deploy for sure, ever again. Last week I thought I would actually deploy Kubernetes finally, and instead I was missing some parts. I actually have taken some small time to check my opinion that I presented right before the end of the stream last week, and that was about the discovery I found by describing the pod in which the Kube controller manager. Let me actually move here so we can see it better. Wait, I cannot do that. Oh, maybe I can. I don't see a flicker anymore. Maybe the update fixed it. I have no idea. But anyways, with this command, we found this error that is very telling. It is saying that we cannot write to the user libexec Kubernetes folder, or actually create a directory there. Therefore, I need to, at least I thought maybe changing simply that path would fix my issues. During the week since last stream, I checked a little bit, and I think that was the correct idea. I just needed to understand how to implement that. But the funny thing is that it should be fairly easy, because in here, I think I read it either during the week or last week during the stream. I found, I think, okay, Creo, Calico, Kubernetes, Kubernetes, not in Typhoon. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think something like this. There it is. There it is. So using Ansible to configure some problems with the read-write permissions for folders in Fedora CoreOS when creating default Kube files in lib folder under, I guess, the lib folder. So I've changed it to using etc Kubernetes subfolders for everything in cluster config template file, which I use with kube adm config option. And that is something that makes sense, so maybe this would fix my issues. I just need to understand how to implement that properly. But thankfully, this person, Namrik, they published this repo that may help me in that. I didn't really find a config file. though. So if I check the command, I have this kubeadm config.yaml file. Controller manager, arguments, name, flex, volume, plugin, directory. And the error I had is actually about this one. Let's check in here as well. I didn't see an actual environment. Oh, okay. It doesn't use an actual file. He creates some environment variables for everything he needs, it seems. Variables used for provision. Change it to with your favorite values typically. I need to put values from Kubernetes documentation. Wait a minute. I just had a flash, and it wasn't a flash of genius, just to be clear. Worker 2. Okay. Okay. It seems that the issue I thought I might have, I don't. Which is a positive. Okay, we were working on this machine. And indeed, we have the kubeadm config.yaml. I don't see anything in here related to paths to organizing something. What's inside merge and what's inside, so environment.conf. Okay, Calico, maybe this one is the one I care. Calico, I imagine is the CNI. That is something I will look into after I completed this deploy, I guess, of the control plane and maybe the workers too. I'm not sure. I need to check the documentation, to be honest. But okay, maybe I can do this. Mine is way shorter than this, but it has okay, cluster definition, Kubernetes version, cluster name. Okay. Control plane endpoint. This one I have it. Kubernetes version, API version as well. Certificate directory. Okay, this is probably some thing I need to add. Image repository. API server. Timeout for control plane. 4 minutes. Controller manager and this folder in here. etcd varlib etcd networking DNS service subnet pod subnet scheduler, and then we have the init configuration that instead we have the kubelet configuration. If I recall correctly, I think they were either or, but I'm not certain. I will need to check. Chris Octet. Okay, Kubernetes version, API version. Kubernetes. So init configuration can coexist with Kubernetes configuration, it seems, or maybe it did in version 131, and they changed it. Face swap on false, feature gates not swap true. Most of these things I don't understand. Some of them I do. And some of these indeed I can integrate my own part. Okay, this one perfect, kind of. Okay, this is for that reason. And I need for that reason to add some things. As we said, this one, copy. Fixing directory paths. Sorry, but at least I managed to not destroy the ears of whoever watches these videos. So, fixing the directory paths. So we have this one. It seems we need to get this one as well. This one especially, because it was the main issue I was facing. Controller manager. The Kube controller manager couldn't, and the name of the directory. Varlib kubelet volume. What? Varlib. Okay. Interesting. Maybe TCD as well. Networking, I will not touch it right now. If I have issues or things that do not work, I will try to understand better that thing. And socket, ignore pre-flight errors. Okay, I don't want to ignore that stuff. So for the time being, this seems correct. And in here we need to do this. Again, fixing directory paths. And in the Kubernetes configuration, we have volume plugin directory. It is again var lib Kubernetes volume plugins. Okay, container runtime, endpoint, runtime endpoint, which is not a control plane endpoint. Okay, this seems to be correct somehow in relation to the folders. And in here we okay. So this was this join configuration. This is for a secondary. No, wait. Registration name taint null. I don't understand if it is a join for a control plane or a worker, to be honest. Okay, yes. Tigera in this something related to Calico, it seems, but I don't work on that yet. I don't understand that either, but okay. So in merge we have a lot of butane files, and that is way more than I have. So we have similar ideas, it seems, because there is an SSH key butane file that I guess also gets transformed into an ignition file and then included in maybe somewhere in this stuff. But the other stuff, so this is about Creo, and it is a unit to install Creo, maybe only one shot. Curl storage, Google APIs, artifacts. Okay, and then apt Creo and that install. So you are downloading the tar.gz for Creo, whereas I installed it from the RPM history, which I feel like is a little bit more effective, at least. But anyways, okay, you do this. Maybe at the time, we're talking about 2 years ago, maybe it wasn't there. Dependency of the controller, and this is dependency of the worker, okay. Tigera that we saw before, it was about the Calico. That, if I recall correctly, is an option for the CNI, but I've yet to get there. Calico CTL, Kube ADM, source, Once again, I don't think I don't know. Contents TL QCTL carico node name inline host name carico MTU. I have no idea. Template for carico configuration. Kube ADM configuration. Yeah, this file that I created, it will likely be something that needs to be, since I don't want to recreate it in case I recreate the VMs, especially because it took a while to create it, to find the things to add, to fix, and I may need to add more, maybe taking more from this repo and adapting it. But anyways, I might have to just take it locally and then later on at least, and then push it in. What else? Kube Cube CLI completions.sh in profile.t. Okay, interesting. I have no idea what the hell is this. And there is a set of directories. Lib. This one is a directory we named before as well. Oh, again, don't get it. This. And the manifest. Okay. The worker, I will think about it later. This is etc mount w. This etc mount. Build mount for etc Kubernetes. Mount what? Varlib Kubernetes. Where? In etc Kubernetes. What? What? Wait. Varlib. Varlib Kubernetes. In it is options bind. Okay, this is kind of interesting as it is kind of interesting because this seems to be saying that but I need to be honest. System D. Unit. I need to take unit. See also system local system unit system dot unit maybe mount once mount requires mount condition. Okay, see also system this service that it's a unit. Mount Systemd mount, maybe this mount. So a unit configuration file whose name ends in .mount, and this is indeed the .mount. Encodes information about a file system mount point controlled and supervised by systemd. Okay. And this main page lists the configuration options specific to this unit type. Systemd unit for the common options of all unit configuration files. Okay. Leonard must be configured minus Leonard dot mount. Okay. Okay. So this is definitely this. Yeah. So if I go what takes an absolute path or a f stub style identifier of a device node. This option is mandatory. If this mount is a bind mount and the specified path does not exist yet, it is created as a directory. Where? Takes an absolute path of a file directory for the mount point. Particular, the destination cannot be a symbolic link. The former is the usual case, the latter is the okay. Options. On options to use when mounting. This takes a comma separated list of options. Set is optional. The user specifier expansion is applied to this setting. Okay. I don't really have. Yeah, but the options, I guess, are from the mount. Man page, man mount option. Command line option. Not really command line what I'm looking for, but beneath bind the remote subtree. I guess it's this stuff. And bind is, as we say, remount a subtree somewhere else, so that its content are available in both places. See above under bind mount operation. Okay, so bind. The bind mount call attaches only part of the system. Bind remount part of the file hierarchy somewhere else. The call is mount -bind all directory, new directory, or by using this fstub entry, or dir new dir non-bind. After this call, the same contents are accessible in two places. It is important to understand that bind does not create any second class or special nodes in the kernel. VFS. The bind is just another operation to attach a file system. There is nowhere stored information that the file system has been attached by a bind operation. The old dir and new dir are independent, and the old dir may be unmounted. And by what I understood in the other man page, what is the origin and where is the destination, basically. So I think I can basically do this and create it on my own. Or maybe, you know what, just the unit. But if I do this, it means that I will do that as well. Okay, Kubernetes stuff. This is Kubernetes stuff. Apply ID, HA proxy, HA config file system the unit. Some thing. Okay. And yes. Okay. And this is something I need to do in all of these. Oh no, that's the IGN. And I will need to recreate, of course, the I don't think I need it everywhere, just in the control plane, and I'm not sure if I need it on all control planes, but I don't think I need it on the worker. What if it actually, so let me see, etc mount IGN, it seems I do. There is no hurt in doing it, so let's do it. Given the situation, I will also close this. I will also this stuff, I don't need it. I will also retrieve there it is, cat config, and create it as new file in here, kube adm config.yaml, which shouldn't be an issue. Put it like this and like this, and we need to add it just here in theory, like the shell file. Where is it? There it is. We do exactly the same. and it is Kube related stuff, so we can move this in here. Okay, and how do we do this? Well, we do this like that. Cube ADM config.yaml, and we need to also change it here, but I'm lazy, so I do it like this. So in theory we are good to go. So I need to recreate all the ignition files and the butane files need to be turned into ignition files. That is what I just said. And then I need to destroy and recreate the VMs. If I do that, I need to also do something else that I might as well add it here. So I think so systemctl enable kubernetes.service creo.service. I don't know if, yeah, I can just do it like that. I don't need to do anything else. In that way, when I start the VMs, everything is ready to run the kubeadm command to create the freaking control plane in the correct way, in theory, just in theory. Okay, so first of all, we need to go build cd documents class correct definition, yeah, butane worker 2, worker 1, and then we go control plane 1.bu into control plane 1.ign, control plane 2 and 2, and control plane 3, control plane 3. Okay, so all the butane files have been turned into the ignition files that I need. Now I can actually recreate the VMs once again. So cd dot, look at this, and we go into tofu plan and destroy out test. Tofu apply tests. Am I missing something? Am I losing something? The history of the commands is not an issue because I have documented last week the command I need to actually run, so it shouldn't be an issue. what else? The file, the kubeadm config file was retrieved and embedded. Of course, if I edit it locally, it's a bit of a pain to actually send it to Fedora CoreOS, but at the same time, that is not what is going to happen, because I will just, how to say, I will just take the final configuration that I create in the virtual machine and copy it locally to the version that I use locally when I recreate the VMs, at least for the time being. Right now we are still, I wanted to clarify just one quick point. Currently, what I'm doing is basically R&D, research and development of the whole thing, like I did with Terraform before, and OpenTofu as well. And with that, what happens? That many things are changing quickly, and then something is defined, and when that is defined, there is the cleanup, I would guess, of the definition, so that I will then have something that can be replicated easily, let's say. Right now, instead, I'm learning things and I'm creating things from scratch, so there is a bit of a mess. For example, checking this, not this, but this repo. In this repo, you notice that we have a lot of butane files, each for every piece of the infrastructure, and then we have controller, worker, and this update ignitions.sh, which I don't know what that is, not yet at least. This is a way more elegant solution. Also, they don't have a bash, they have a bash script for something which I don't know what it is for yet, but at the same time they don't use a bash script for the installation of the packages. They just install everything through systemd units, which is maybe more elegant and more correct, let's say. They also install directly from the sources, and they don't use rpm-ostree. I don't really understand why, but maybe when I go through all the files, butane files, and also that shell file, .sh file, maybe I will better understand it. I decided to use rpm-ostree. I already noticed that this can be an issue, so I'm installing a specific version of Creo, whereas kubeadm and Kubernetes, I'm taking the latest version. Okay, nice. Right now the latest version is 1.35, but this is not something that is going to be permanent, so I expect I need to fix that to make it correct, let's say. To basically pin the version of all the Kubernetes related pieces, software pieces that I install. And that is one detail that I thought about looking into the various files in this repo, which what was it, the name in here, Nemric or relative IT, great job. And I'm taking a lot of inspiration from your work, which I understand took a long time. I'm in the same place, I guess. I'm doing things step by step, and instead of finally deploying as I meant to do in the last few streams, I'm every day planting my face on a wall every single day. Different wall. So anyways, I think I've done everything, so I can destroy everything, but I wanted to make sure that when I do it, I'm actually doing it. So this is not the one, this is the one. And okay, here we are, and if I do it like this, the 5 VMs should be destroyed. They are indeed. So we do it like this, and then they should be created. It will take just a few moments because they need to be, as I said, created. Yeah, another thing that I will definitely work on is eventually to give the ID of the virtual machine through the OpenTofu definition, so that the control plane 1 is always 101, and basically I will align them with the IP addresses of those VMs, so I feel better in general. But anyways, now I need to wait that they finish to be created, they start, and then they restart, basically. So this is starting, this is finished, now this will start, it will do its things, perform installation, configurations, and everything that's needed. I hope I didn't break anything, by the way, adding things as I did. I didn't, how to say, the unit for the bind of varlib Kubernetes to etc Kubernetes, if I recall correctly. I didn't really vet it, copied and pasted, assuming it is correct, and if it isn't, I will fix it. If it is correct, it is correct, so I don't need to do anything. Of course, now it is installing not just one package, but multiple packages, so it takes a little bit more time to finish and reboot. But that means that maybe Kube, yes, and it also means that if I go into my notes, first of all, I have a lot of things to write, because I didn't write anything thus far, and then I need to retrieve the command from day 27 to try and see if everything goes well with the with the control plane. So first of all, fixing paths, checking into the thread. Oh jeez, let me retrieve the thread. Of messages in the SOS forum, I guess. Forum. I noticed someone else faced the same kind of issues I am facing. Therefore, I decided to look into details, of the core OS repo I found previously, but kind of ignored pretty much. And then we go like this, like this, like this, like this. I don't know why this one is. What the hell? I don't get it, but anyways. Yeah. Let's take the proper link. Okay, it's normal. Perfect. They indeed include both Kubernetes level of configuration, so really to pass. And also they also have a system, the unit to bind a path to another location. Both of these were replicated in my solution that ain't complete yet. What else? What else? Let's go into that one. I have also updated once again the net .sh script, so that it not only installs install or installs it. No, it doesn't. Not only install. I don't know, to be honest. Let me know in case if you know. Not only it does not only install the packages, but before the reboot it also enables the services needed for the deployment of Kubernetes. Finally, given the nature of the project being work in progress and R&D, as I just said, I also created the, by the way, I have it, I do. Yeah, I don't need it to be that, so we need to fix it. I also created the Kube ATM config file locally that is embedded in the first Kubernetes control plane. I don't know if I need it for all control planes, to be honest. Through the butane ignition configuration. I need to fix it as I don't need it to be unexecutable. Time to try the deploy again, and it did. It is time to try the deploy once again. So I didn't really save the command, the correct command, copy, but it is really okay. It is really similar to this one, so maybe let's mod, what is it, 644? Yeah, I feel better. And this is the command that is not correct because I need to remove this part. Instead we said that the upload certs wasn't an issue. So this way, the command is this, and let's see what happens. Wait a minute. Error unmarshalling configuration schema, group version can group could cannot unmarshal object into ghost struct field control plane component control of type. Oh, okay, I need to go into the documentation because yeah, I said it before, I think. What was it in here? Kube v1 beta 3. I have v1 beta 4, therefore I may need to adjust things. And it seems that I indeed need to do that. API reference, API overview, no, API access control. If I get this, like this, like this, controller, Kube controller manager. What? Oh, come on. Are you fucking do? Yeah. Okay. Controller manager, extra args, flex, volume plugin there. Yeah, but that means do I need to add something like this? Flex, volume plugin D required, volume configuration, PS system. Let me check the error once again. Unmarshal. I don't understand this error. Unmarshalling configuration schema. So error and marshalling configuration schema. Cannot unmarshal object into go struct field control plane component dot controller manager dot extract of type. Okay, let's try to search this thing because I have no idea what it means. Unmarshal. Kubernetes. What the fuck? I don't understand. So it seems that I needed to use this. Just where is it? Cube. There it is. Controller. Feel too great currently because I'm stuck in something strange. Did I put it in the wrong place? First of all, controller manager is inside. Is it? We're here. Kind of cluster configuration. For fuck's sake. Kind of cluster configuration. And we have controller manager, extra args, and yada yada yada. Okay. look, let's do it like this. Copy. Like this, and we take this as well. Flex. Volume plugin their default. Full path of the directory in which the Flex volume plugin should search for additional third-party volume plugins. And okay. It is of the Kube controller manager. So controller manager should be correct. It's a plugin. Init configuration, and this is vbeta 3 cluster configuration, and we have controller manager. And yet could it be that I need the double quotes. Tell me that's the issue and I will get fairly annoyed. Oh. Read only file. What are you talking about? Read right. Root. Okay, sudo vi. No, it's not a read-only file. I would get annoyed if this is the reason, but honestly, if this is the reason, I won't even get too annoyed. I will just be happy that I already fixed it. And therefore, same error. Minus b equal 5. No stack trace. Error and marshalling configuration schema. Let's try to search for exactly this, and let's see if something or the PI spec. I'm not caring about that. I want that thing about unmarshalling, Jeebus. Schema dot group version kind. So error unmarshalling configuration schema. No, error unmarshalling configuration schema dot group version kind group QADM version kind custom configuration. Cannot unmarshal object into construct field control play component controller manager extra args of type v beta 1 v1 beta 4 dot arg v1 beta 4 dot arg extra args server PS control manager extra args is an extra set of flags to pass to the control plane component. An argument name in this list is the flag name as it appears on the command line, except without deleting dashes. Extra arguments will override existing default parameters and duplicate extra arguments are allowed. So what you're saying is the extra args is not that wrong. This shouldn't have the preceding or leading dashes, so that is correct as well. Controller manager. Is there something that's incorrect in that fashion? So let's see the one I wrote. Okay. The one I didn't write is an issue. I don't understand. I don't understand. Let's try to take it all and let's see if someone else found this exact error. Doesn't seem so. Yeah, but in my case it is cannot unmarshal object. once again, copy and paste. Fix version. So you are telling me basically that I have a schema group kind, group version kind, so group Kubernetes version, kind custom version, control plane component dot controller manager dot extra args, control plane component, control plane component, control plane component. Let me check also the version in here. So control plane component, and let me check once again the repo. Yeah, it's not under something else, it is just as is. I don't get it. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. Maybe this or not. Go. Okay, in v131 this was added. Controller manager dot extra args. Was it removed since then? V1 beta 1. So extra args. Controller manager. So if I take this and I search like this, I have it only there. Extra volumes, extra args on the end, and then whatever is underneath, we need to put it like this. Yeah, I mean, changing it here is useless, but on the T, it doesn't hurt, does it? Ho ho ho. different kind of stuff. Strict no field control management, flex, okay. Agree sockets. Okay, so strict coding error, unknown field. This is a way more in-depth error. There is other stuff that seems to be totally alright. So this is not correct. I mean, it was worth a shot. So I changed flex volume plugin there. How the hell do I fix this thing? This specify flex one. Oh, for fuck's sake. And this was when? 2019. This is our flat car container Linux. The directory uses monthly original for flex volume support components like Kubernetes and Kube controller manager. Use the default path user. Yet the flex volume must be right about 52 works. To work on this issue, you can configure the flex volume directory using the Kube configure file. Where is it? Check. Name, fuck off. I wasn't far. Name. Volume. So I will need to fix the others as well. Kubernetes extra node registration. In the init configuration, but I have Kubernetes configuration. Anyways, this. Value. Like this. Okay. And etcd. No, fuck's sake, wrong place. Etcd. Data dir. Nothing. Let's hope that the other is right. We have another error. That's totally right. Cree could not connect to the runtime. Failed to create a new Cree runtime service. So status Cree service. Why is it named disabled? If I said sudo system enable now Creo.serve, and I will need to test it. And what was a Kubernetes service? Okay, so it seems that something about Kubernetes was already in there, because I don't have 2 lines, I just have 1. Maybe now it's different. It is different. It is different. Maybe it's gonna break somewhere else, but it's currently going. And it seems that it has initialized successfully. Okay. Really okay. So first of all, this goes here for the time being. Time to okay, command perfect. There was an issue related to the updated version of the API of Kubernetes. Kubernetes and the configurations I copied for an old version. So cat okay, and copy, and we also go back in here and we take the wrong one, copy, old version, new version, useful page, I think it's this. What the hell? Oh, that's bad. Okay. And of all things, for this reason we go like this, copy, And we replace this, paste. Perfect. With this, we got what we wanted, in theory. In theory, because if I go cube city, what the hell? Oh, so yeah, rpm s3 install kubectl, because I didn't install it through the script, because this is only for the control plane, not for the worker, and that is for all nodes currently. Anyways, forgot to install kubectl after recreating the limbs. Yeah, we need to fix that idea in case create two scripts, one for workers, one for control planes. But anyways, now I need to do sudo reboot, give it a moment, and then I will try to use kubectl get nodes. I guess. What's going on? Nothing. Okay. kubectl kube config, and it was in C Kubernetes super conf get nodes sudo get services get pods -n kube system, maybe running. Everything is running. Okay, this is successful, at least so far. We have a control plane node, not a cluster, one control plane node. It's a start. I have the components to go into the creation of the other nodes. Let's quickly look into this. Okay. So, stacked, okay, initialize. Then what is the output? Looks similar to, okay. Okay, to replace this. Specify custom certificate key, okay, CNI plugin. Okay, so this is number 2. CNI of your choice. So this is the next step. this is the next step, because first I need to have a full, I guess, control plane, and currently I don't. So CNI is the next best thing to do. Not the next best thing, the next thing to do. Okay. Control plane initialized. Next, CNI. So next week we will work on the CNI. That's cool. That's cool. But I want to say that for today we did another step ahead. I can finally say that, in part at least, I have deployed Kubernetes, K8s to be exact. And next week we will break our mind with the CNI. Possibly only next week, but I expect a couple of weeks at least on that, because I will need to probably add some of the configuration that were in the core OS with the K core OS repo, in the config file inside my own config file, I guess related to the CNI. And in the meantime, all is good. Thank you all for watching as usual, and see you next week. Luckily out.